What's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now. Today we are coming to you from Chiricahuas, the mountains out in southeastern Arizona. Let's do it. As you can see, the Chiricahua Mountains are on the southeastern corner of Arizona, almost in New Mexico. What we're going to do in this travel guide of southeastern Arizona, where the Chiricahua Mountains are, we're going to explore the National Monument, then we're going to head over the other side of the mountain and check out a town called Portal and a canyon ravine that's really cool called Cave Creek. This is the Cave Creek down in southeastern Arizona, not the Cave Creek north of Phoenix. So this area of the Chiricahuas was actually a pass that led from El Paso all the way into California. This is where they used to run the mail through here. So yeah, the U.S. Postal Service back in the late 1800s, early 1900s used to roll right through these mountains right here. When you come down here, it's not uncommon to see dozens of deer just kind of meandering and eating leaves all across this chaparral type desert. Now, there were Apaches out here, Apache Indians, North American, Native American tribe. They're called the Chiricahua people, and they actually lived in this area of southeastern and southwestern Arizona. Now, what makes this place so amazing is the rock structures that protrude out of the ground naturally. We're going up to the viewpoints at Massai Point, over 6,800 feet. There's trails that branch off there, and we'll be exploring those. And here's another one of those little deer. They just seem to be completely content hanging around humans. And here we are in the souvenir shop at the Park Visitor Center across the street from the headquarters. You can see it's just a pretty cool place. Got some cactus candy right here, and then jelly candies, prickly pear trail mix. Yeah, so for those of you who follow me on Island Hopper TV, my other channel, we're going to do a national parks. We always go to national parks, so that's why I got this passport stamp book. Right here they have the actual stamp. They said to do a test before I actually do a real stamp. So right here is where I'm going to put the stamp. There it is, Chiricahuas in the western region. Now, if you come down here and you like camping, I would say do plan to camp at least 1 or 2 days and check out some of these trails. If you don't like to camp, then there's not many hotels in the area, so camping's really your only option if you want to come down here and stay in the region. But many trails. And this is a look at one of the many campgrounds in the area that you can stay at, whether you stay at this one the whole time or another one and this one, up to you. But they do have facilities, bathrooms, I believe some showers, picnic tables, all that jazz. What we're doing now is the actual drive up to Massai Point. There's a couple stops along the way which we'll be stopping at to show you, but for the most part, we're going to the top of this monument. Yeah, so when you come to the Chiricahuas, there's actually lots of hikes all up and down here. That's why people come here and they camp for 1 or 2 days. This trail right here to the natural bridge, it says it's 4.8 miles round trip. We're not going to do that today because we got to make it over to New Mexico, but we are going to keep pushing into the Chiricahuas and show you guys up at Massai Point. But in the meantime, I did get some candy, some cactus candy. That's good. Tastes like regular candy, but it's got a gelatin flavor to it, taste. And in case you're wondering what kind of cactus that was, it was prickly pear candy. Prickly pear cactus candy. So just some quick facts while we got the time. We're actually on an 8-mile scenic drive up to Massai Point from the visitor center. We're gonna go climb up to an elevation of 68-70 feet tall. And there's actually 15 trails in the park. And just in case you're wondering, it's off of Highway 186 from Wilcox, about 34 miles away, just off of I-10. And it appears the best way to see this park is by trails, although you don't need to get out of your car. You can just drive all the way up if you wanted. But the big ticket out here is these spires, these rocks that look like volcanic pinnacles, really, and they form different looks all throughout. They call them spires. So you'll see a lot of these spires once you get to the top, but along the way as well. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes getting up there, and there was hardly any traffic. In case you guys are wondering, this 8 miles goes by really quick, although it is windy. Yeah, here we are at Massai Point. Some pronounce it Massai Point. In the Chiricahua wilderness. Right here's a trail right at the top of Massai Point. Look at this bird nest right here. You can see, you can look out. Obviously, it's not a bird nest where birds live. It's an actual rock, man-made rock structure with walls that they call a bird nest at the top of a rock. And you can actually look around at all the spires and pinnacles in the area around Massai Point here. You'll want to look for this when you get there. When you come up here, you'll notice that there's these small juniper trees, or pine trees actually. It's called a pygmy forest, a smaller forest. They actually get 20 to 30 inches of rainfall every year. So here we are at the Sugarloaf Mountain Trail right here. It says you're entering wilderness area. They got black bears, cougars, snakes, cliffs, high temperatures. Bring lots of water. We're not going to be able to go all the way to the top because we don't have time. It's a 1.8 mile round trip, but we're going to go kind of down the trail just to give you an idea of what you can see when you go there. So what do you guys say we head down and now Fort Bowie? This is going to be where we're headed next. You got to go out on this dirt road to get there, which takes you right through the Chiricahua Mountains, and we go through that pass. And then we'll ultimately end up over in Portal, which is actually a place you'll want to stick around for the end of this tour for. Where we're at right here is the trail for Camp Bowie, also Fort Bowie. Back behind here was a camp of around about 300 people that lived here during the expansion westward. Now the reason they chose this area was because this is through the Apache Pass right here. And this was the shortest route in between El Paso and Tucson, going through these Chiricahua Mountains in between the Chiricahuas and the Dos Cabezas. So right back in here, it's a 1.5 mile hike, round trip 3 miles. They say it takes longer than it looks. As you can see, Fort Bowie was actually a happening place in 1893, but it's been all but returned back to nature. It's cleaned up and no real remains of a civilization are there. Alright, so once we've gone in between the Dos Cabezas peaks and the Chiricahua Mountains, we end up in Bowie, get back onto the I-10 for about 20 minutes, get off at San Simon, or just past there, and actually head down, lots of orchards down here, towards Portal. This is kind of a gnarly drive, but it must be done. I believe the total population of Portal is around 300 people, so don't expect too much activity in terms of population. But actually, a lot of people who come down here, I guess the first question they always ask is, how much for a piece of land out here? All right, guys, we've made it to Portal. This is actually one of the best places in all of the country to watch stars. There's actually a village over there called Star Village. So this whole area around here, Cave Creek Canyon, which we're gonna go show you next, is the best place for stargazers. The actual town of Portal has a population of about 200 people. This lodge right here is a place you can stay if you come here to the Portal store, $85 a night. All right, as you can see, we are now headed towards Cave Creek up into the canyon area. Beautiful drive going in there, and there are some homes, but like I said, at nighttime, this place is one of the best places in all of the country to see stars. In fact, some people say it is the best place to see stars at night. All right, so here we are in the Cave Creek area. If you look way up here, you could see a big cave and then another small cave right next to it. Now, if you ask me what place is best to camp, is it the west side or the east side of the Chiricahua Mountains? Is it Portal or is it in the National Monument? I would say do both if you can. Come down here for 2 or 3 nights and maybe stay one night in the actual National Monument and 1 or 2 nights in the town of Portal. That's what I would recommend. Up to you though. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this tour around the Chiricahua National Monument and the town of Portal as well as Cave Creek. If you guys did, please smash that like button and consider subscribing to Living in Arizona Now if you love all things Arizona. And we will see you guys on the next one. Watch some of these other videos from across Arizona.